Today is May 23rd, 2026, and the latest update on Rive is version 8.4914. Actually, that's what we got on an email saying that that was the latest version as of today's date. But what I want to talk about is basically these new features, but I just want to talk about the few ones that I'm going to be using, and I feel like most people are going to be using on both the regular version and early access. The first one would be duplicate with the offset. So back in Rive, we're just gonna make a new file, 500 by 500, and then we are gonna make a simple square. With this square, what we have is just one dependency or just one rectangle. If we copy and paste that rectangle and we moved it around and then we paste it again, obviously it's just gonna go back to its origin. If I duplicate this rectangle and then I move it and I duplicate it again, control duplicate, control duplicate, control duplicate. That's the first feature that they are showing off, which is duplicate with offset with Command D. So not to be confused with just copy pasting objects, but it's a matter of using Command D as this unique tool that has this other feature embedded in it. That's really cool, and that's something that I'm gonna be using for sure. Expand and collapse trees. We're gonna start with a rectangle, and then we're gonna create a circle, and then we're gonna create, I don't know, just a polygon. Polygon right there. And then we're gonna copy that, then we're gonna nest some of these guys in here. Here, duplicate, duplicate, nest, duplicate, 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 nest, here, duplicate, nest, duplicate, take out. And I'm just nesting things around like a crazy person. Just to show that before you were not able to, I mean, you could collapse the whole thing, but if you have little other parents in it, you would have to go one by one and open them all. So what they've done with this release is actually being able to get in here and expand all your trees, which is, I think, very helpful. Also, you can just come here into this parent, I guess, and then you can just collapse all, and it would just collapse the whole thing. But if I was to expand all these three, then you would have to expand all of them and not the selection. I think that's something I would like to play with and then get to understand. Because if I want to collapse just these three, I just collapse all. I guess like they're all just gonna get collapsed like that again. So I don't know. This is one of the features that I feel like it's. I was very excited, but now I'm finding some things that I don't know. We can maybe need a little bit more rework. Let's see if we can deep expand. Deep expand just expands everything though. But deep expand, what's the difference between deep expand and expand all? Deep expand or right click for expand collapse all. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I wish somebody could tell us what these differences are. And unfortunately, the log that we get with every release, it's sometimes vague, and then sometimes you get to hear only, how to access the features, but not really how they work. And I feel like that's a little bit of a miss for us, the people who are trying to use these features. If they could make like a little bit of like a guide or a PDF or something with a little more documentation, that'd be super helpful. This is Rive Early Access. You can see it here in the top part of the screen. And what I want to showcase, I mean, this whole thing has a lot of really cool features that I don't really use in production right now, just because it's the early access and I don't want these things just like, closing on me when I need to output some stuff. So, but the cool thing that they're mentioning here is they have the agent, the animations, assets, data, and hierarchy panels stacked up right here. As in the previous version, they just had it, side by side this way, which it works, but it's a little too, I don't know, counterintuitive or for some people. I would say that this is a lot better way to work, especially when you can drag and drop these menus just like what you would do in After Effects, and start creating your own flow within those windows right there. Because sometimes people just know where their assets are, the hierarchy, and that And then the way you move your mouse to drag and drop and move assets around, it just makes things so much more faster and efficient. I'm not a fan of the agent yet, so I'm always closing that one. But yeah, that's here, and you can change the size of these windows, and you can, yeah, rearrange them as you wish. You know, you can make them full panels or just divide them in threes. I don't know why they just didn't come up with a way of making them float, but I'm pretty sure it has something to do with the way they're drawing the UI in the screen. But it'd be great in a personal preference. I have multiple screens and I like having different panels in different screens. So if this was an option, I think I'd be very, very happy if we could do that. Okay, the next feature is the timeline search, and that is really cool because let's say in the hierarchy we have all these assets we created before, right? And they are all animated. We are in timeline 1, and then just we're gonna search for the polygon 2. So that's it, polygon 2 is right there, and then I can just focus on animating polygon 2, and then, you know, doing doing its thing right here. The one thing that I thought that we're gonna go a little deeper is mostly not only the names, but the thing we have in After Effects, which is just looking for the position and the rotation and all these things, you know, because sometimes I would rather select all the positions and see all the positions and just type position, uh, and it just doesn't come up. So this is just a search per element, or so that's how it is here. Timeline, and then you have that's how you that this is the new search bar, and that's how it works right now. Timeline sorting, that one I'm not sure how it works. I believe it has something to do with the search timeline sorting. I guess when you have too many timelines, let's duplicate. Oh, no. Actually, you don't do that here. You create another timeline. Let's say we can have create view. So you can sort timeline sorting, state machine timeline. So you can add timelines from here, or you can add timelines from here. I don't know what that feature entails. Or because before we've always been able to move timelines up and down, but I don't know what they really mean by timeline sorting. That's something to look into. And the last one but not least is isolate a hierarchy or timeline object. And I think that's big, that's huge. And it's also one of those features that I believe that it can be greatly improved. So we have all the assets right here, and it works pretty much by soloing by hitting this little circle right next to it. So, and then you're just soloing that on the canvas, but it's not like you are soloing the object in the hierarchy, which I think that would be even better because sometimes you have so many objects and so many elements, you know, that it's just best if you can just on one thing at a time. And those are just some of the new features they just released on version 8.4914, and I think they're heading into the right direction. These guys are working really hard. They're releasing features almost weekly, which I really appreciate. And I look forward to new releases. I know there's a new update coming soon, a big one though, and Guido has already hinted that they're working on some sort of 3D. I don't know if there's gonna be like a 3D object within Rive, the way After Effects handled their 3D with cameras and stuff like that, or they're gonna be bringing or letting us use like GLTF or OBJs and all other um, files within Rive, and if we could interact with those, that just opens a whole new talk. That's a whole new chat. But regardless, I look forward to those, and I would love to see what you guys think, and if you guys are gonna be using any of these features, let me know. Have a good one. Bye.